I'm going to put this in the possible pile here. Where are we? I want to find Jacob. Where are you? Can you tell us your policy? Because I went and did a little bit of searching on your policy.
Cancel out everyone's debts. All mortgages are paid off. All student debts are paid off. All third world debts are paid off. No one owes anybody anything. We all start again.
What do we reckon? There's some cautious yes. Do people like that idea? Some of you going, yes, we quite like it. And some of us going, oh, it's a bit radical. A couple of weeks ago, we had a policy about quantitative easing, that instead of giving the money to the banks, they just gave it to us in vouchers because we'd spend it. You know, if the purpose of it is to get, you know, consumer spending, then we will spend it. And I've spoken to loads of economists. And the weird thing is, most of them have actually, as soon as we finished the interview, have said, look, I can't say this on air, but... And then they'll say things like, everyone should prepare for a 20% reduction in income, or everyone should actually have a certain amount of money in the drawer in case the bank machine stopped working, or everyone should prepare to actually have food and stuff like that to survive for a couple of weeks if it all goes very bad. And it's like, we actually interviewed Robert Peston, and he was in camouflage with a crossbow. Anyway, the point being was... There's an Australian economist called Steve Keen, who is a professor of economics, and he basically said, yeah, we should do that. And he said, what we should do is you should cancel everyone's debts. But because this would be unfair to people who have saved, what we should do is pay everyone just a load of money. Everyone gets paid $500,000 from quantitative easing. It just ends up in our bank accounts. And we have to pay off our debts with it. So the mortgages and the HP and the credit cards and all that kind of stuff. And any money you got left is yours. And you get to spend it. And he said that way we can cancel all debts, or the majority of them, and it wouldn't penalise people who've been saving. And it also means we got money to kickstart the economy. Would you mind if I took an amendment on that?
No, that's fine by me.
That's fine by you. Yes, I'll go with the $500,000. So, what do folks reckon to this idea of cancel off the debts? What do we reckon? Yeah, OK. So you're basically voting to be bribed by politicians, yeah? You're just going, we don't want politicians to be bribed, but we are bribable. There would be an inflationary aspect to this. Obviously, there would be an inflationary aspect, but inflation's running about 5% at the moment. Because we've got low interest rates, quantitative easing. So the quantitative easing which we've got is actually creating inflation already because we're importing inflation because the pound has devalued. I have spent too much time with these people, haven't I? But we are importing inflation. A bit of inflation might not be bad.
Oh, we're turning to Italy. You're joking, aren't you?
Oh, that's what we want to see. Get the mic to that person.
I'm sorry. Of course, a bit of inflation would be bad.
Why?
Hyperinflation is
that's not hyperinflation. We said a bit of inflation.
Oh no, come on! A bit of inflation is 5%. You're saying what level
actually,
would you allow it to go
a bit of
to?
inflation isn't 5%. Actually, you could make a very good argument. For example, that in developing countries where they have taken a monetarist stance on their own economy because they have to respect the grading system of places like Fitch that will give them credit ratings. And actually that's disastrous for these places because in places in Central Africa, for example, you actually need to improve the number of health workers, you need to improve the number of schools, you need to improve the number of teachers. And actually what that means is public expenditure. But actually you can't spend money because that pushes up. That's the classic way of actually pushing up inflation. So these countries which are wedded to low inflationary targets because they want to meet their credit masters' ratings actually end up sacrificing their own public sectors and actually doing away with health services and actually doing away with teachers and schools to keep inflation low, when those places could actually manage inflation of rate of about 15%. That's just an example to say that you could manage a medium rate of inflation. That would be a kind of middle to high range.
Yeah, so now you're using the word medium, but I'm saying it's very easy to go from...
Well, you were using the word hyper. Snippity, snip, 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 bang.
I did economics very many years ago, so I'm allowed to use the word hyper.
OK, well, you're out of the equation.
I'm just saying, when do you go from your medium level up until, like, when Italy was in a really bad high inflationary zone? You're saying 15% is acceptable?
I was saying in that particular example, it could be just to say that inflation wasn't necessarily a totally bad thing.
It's not a totally bad thing, but it's not a totally good thing either. Maybe we'll have to leave it at that.
Do you know what? I blame Dimbleby for that kind of behaviour. Don't you blame him for that. I'm going to put it in, so we've got that to consider. Jams and pickles should be banned from fridges. So I reckon we've got. We're going to go through the. We're going to go through these. I'll put them out to you. If you like the idea, you shout "aye" after 3. Okay. So I just read out the policy. If you like it, the loudest shout wins. Okay. You can shout for as many as you like. We might work on a single transferable shout, but I'm the decider. There is no reshout. So first of all, we've got here the idea that we could cancel everyone's debts and pay money through quantitative easing to cancel those debts. If you like that idea, 1, 2, 3. Aye. The general anti-avoidance rule for tax avoidance. If you like that one, after 3. 1, 2, 3. Aye. I think that's in the lead, isn't it? I think that's there. And there's also your speeding one. If you want to enter into a massive global conspiracy to reduce speedometers, 1, 2, 3. Do you know, we should just get... What, that somebody tried... No one voted for you? Oh, man, I'm sorry.
It's a conspiracy!
That's very good. That wins top heckle of the night. That is, I actually think that more people voted for that policy than was actually audible. But the true results have been suppressed. We also had police sirens should go back to the ding-a-ling bells. 1, 2, 3. Aye. Do you know, I think we've really gone for the anti-avoidance rule here, haven't we? I think that's going to be the winning policy. And this was Chris Elderwood. Please give Chris a big round of applause. Thank you very much. Good night.
Mark Thomas, the manifesto was written and performed by Mark Thomas and produced by Colin Anderson.
Mark Thomas, the manifesto, that's the 3rd programme. There's still one more to come, so listen out for that next week.